The country club ballroom glittered with champagne glasses and forced smiles. 200 people had gathered to celebrate Dad's retirement from Montgomery and Associates, the law firm he'd built over 40 years. Crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, a 12-piece orchestra playing softly in the corner. I stood near the back watching my sister Jennifer work the room in her designer gown, her husband trailing behind her like an expensive accessory. Emily. Mom found me by the hors d'oeuvres table. Sweetheart, why are you hiding back here? Come mingle. I'm fine here, Mom. She studied my outfit, a simple navy dress I'd worn to 3 other events, paired with modest heels. Her lips pressed together in that way that meant she was disappointed but trying not to show it. Did you drive here in that car again? She asked quietly. The Honda? Yes. Emily, darling, it's 15 years old. People notice these things. Let them notice. She sighed, touching my arm. We just want better for you. Your father and I, we worry. I know you do. Before she could continue, Jennifer appeared with her husband Craig and my brother Michael. Jennifer's dress probably cost more than most people's monthly rent. Her jewelry caught the light with every movement. There she is, Jennifer announced. Our little Emily, hiding in the corners as usual. Hi, Jen. Still living in that studio apartment? She asked, her voice pitched just loud enough for nearby guests to hear. What a loser. Several people turned to look. Mom's face flushed. Jennifer, Mom murmured. Not here. What? I'm just concerned about my baby sister. Jennifer sipped her champagne. 34 years old and living like a college student. It's sad. Michael cleared his throat uncomfortably. Unlike Jennifer, he'd always been gentler with me. Em's doing fine. Everyone's path is different. Is it fine? Craig interjected, emboldened by the scotch in his hand. No career advancement, no property ownership, driving a car older than some of our interns? We're worried about your future, Mom whispered, her eyes genuinely troubled. I just checked my phone. A message from Captain Williams. *ED 20 minutes. All pre-flight checks complete. *. What could possibly be so important on your phone? Jennifer demanded. Let me guess. Scrolling through apartments you can't afford? I slipped the phone back into my purse. Something like that. This is exactly the problem, Jennifer continued, warming to her audience. Several of Dad's colleagues had drifted closer, drinks in hand, pretending not to listen. No ambition. No drive. Remember when we were kids, Emily? You were supposed to be the smart one. I remember. Yale scholarship. Top of your class. We all thought you'd be running the world by now. Things change. They certainly do. She gestured around the ballroom. Michael's a partner at the firm. I married into the Blackwell family. And you, what exactly do you do again? Consulting. Consulting, she repeated mockingly. That's what people say when they're unemployed. What kind of consulting? International business development. Craig laughed. International? You've never even left the country. I said nothing. Let them believe what they wanted. Dad approached our group, resplendent in his custom tuxedo. At 70, he still commanded attention in any room. There's my Emily, he said warmly, kissing my cheek. Glad you could make it, sweetheart. Wouldn't miss it, Dad. Congratulations on your retirement. 40 years, he said, shaking his head. Feels like 40 minutes. Or 40 seconds in Emily's case, Jennifer muttered. Since she's accomplished nothing in all that time. Jennifer, Dad said sharply. That's enough. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Look at her, Dad. She's 34 and has nothing to show for it. She has a good heart, Dad said. That counts for something. A good heart doesn't pay bills, Craig said. Mom touched my elbow. Emily, dear, your father and I have been discussing something. We'd like to help you. Here it comes. We're prepared to offer you a position at the firm, Dad said. Junior associate level. You'd have to work your way up, of course, but with your Yale degree. That's very generous, but I'm fine with my current work. Current work, Jennifer scoffed. You mean that consulting that pays so little you can barely afford food? I eat fine. Do you? Because Mom told me you've lost weight. She's worried you're not eating properly. I've lost 8 pounds because I've been traveling a lot. Airplane food isn't great. Traveling, Craig said. In what, your imagination? Michael shifted uncomfortably. Guys, come on. It's Dad's party. It's fine, I said quietly. Let them talk. See. Jennifer spread her hands. She just takes it. No fire, no fight. Maybe that's why she's failed at everything. A small crowd had definitely gathered now. Dad's law partners, their wives, family friends, all watching my humiliation with varying degrees of pity and schadenfreude. Failed is a strong word, Mom said weakly. Is it? She had every advantage. The best education, family connections, and what did she do? Threw it all away for some vague consulting job that barely keeps her housed. I'm housed, I said. In a 400-square-foot studio in a questionable neighborhood, Jennifer shot back. I saw it when I dropped off your birthday gift last year. The building doesn't even have a doorman. I don't need a doorman. Everyone needs a doorman. It's a matter of basic safety. Craig leaned against the bar. What I don't understand is the lack of ambition. You could have been anything. Instead you're, whatever this is. My phone vibrated. Another message from Captain Williams. Asterisk entering airspace. Landing in 10. Asterisk. Again with the phone, Jennifer said. Are you even listening? I'm listening. You think I'm a failure. You've made that clear. We're trying to help you, Mom insisted. If you just take the position at the firm. I don't want to work at the firm. Why not? Dad asked, genuinely puzzled. Because I have other commitments. Commitments, Jennifer repeated. What commitments could you possibly have? Before I could answer, my Uncle Robert joined the group. He'd had too much champagne, his face flushed and jovial. What are we discussing? Emily's future, Jennifer said. Or lack thereof. Ah yes, young Emily. He clapped me on the shoulder. Still figuring things out, are we? Something like that. Well, you're young. Plenty of time to get your life together. I'm 34. Exactly. Lots of time. He beamed at the group. Not like you've wasted your prime years or anything. The orchestra finished a song. In the brief silence, my Aunt Patricia's voice carried across the room. Such a shame about Richard's youngest. So much potential completely squandered. Mom flinched. I pretended not to hear. The thing is, Craig said, emboldened by alcohol and audience, at some point you have to admit defeat. Accept that you're not cut out for success. Is that what you think? I asked quietly. It's what everyone thinks. You're the family charity case. Craig, Michael said sharply. That's out of line. Is it? Look at the facts. No career, no money, no prospects. If she wasn't a Montgomery, where would she be? Probably homeless, Jennifer added. Let's be honest. Dad's jaw tightened. Jennifer, that's your sister. Which is why it hurts to watch her waste her life. Someone needs to tell her the truth. And what truth is that? I asked. She stepped closer, her voice dropping to what she probably thought was a compassionate tone but came across as condescending. That you're a disappointment. That you had every opportunity and blew it. That it's time to stop pretending and accept reality. What reality? That you're a 34-year-old failure living in a studio apartment with a 15-year-old car and no future. The group around us had swelled to at least 30 people. All of Dad's retirement party, condensed into this one moment of public humiliation. Emily, Mom said, tears in her eyes. Please. Just take the job at the firm. Let us help you. We can't watch you struggle anymore, Dad added. It's killing your mother. I looked at my father, this man who'd built an empire through ruthless intelligence and strategic thinking, and wondered how he could be so blind about his own daughter. I appreciate the offer, I said. But I'm not struggling. You asked to borrow money last month, Jennifer pointed out triumphantly. You called Mom begging for $300. I asked if I could borrow $300. There's a difference. Why would you need to borrow money if you weren't desperate? I was testing something. Testing what? Whether you'd help me if I needed it. You did. I appreciated that. I donated the money to a children's hospital the same day. Jennifer's eyes narrowed. That's a lie. Is it? You're not charitable. You can barely take care of yourself. My phone vibrated again. Captain Williams. Asterisk landed. Taxiing to private terminal now. Asterisk. Excuse me, I said, checking the message. See. Craig gestured at me with his drink. Can't even focus on a conversation. Probably texting about some imaginary job interview. Emily, Dad said firmly. Put the phone away. This is important. What's important? Your future. Your family is trying to help you. By calling me a failure, a disappointment, a charity case. By offering you a real opportunity, Jennifer insisted. A chance to salvage something from the wreckage of your life. The wreckage, I repeated softly. Yes. Look at yourself, Emily. Really look. You're wearing a dress you bought 3 years ago. Your purse is from Target. Your shoes are scuffed. You look like you're barely holding it together. Mom sobbed quietly. Dad put his arm around her. We love you, he said. But Jennifer's right. You need to face facts. What facts specifically? That you've failed, Jennifer said bluntly. That whatever you thought you were doing with this consulting fantasy, it hasn't worked. That it's time to stop pretending and accept help. Help, I said. From people who've spent the last 20 minutes calling me a loser, a failure and homeless adjacent. We're being cruel to be kind, Craig said. Are you? Or are you being cruel because it makes you feel superior? Jennifer's face flushed. How dare you? Ms. Montgomery? Everyone turned. Captain James Williams stood at the edge of our group, impeccable in his pilot's uniform. Tall, distinguished, with silver hair and the bearing of someone who'd flown for presidents and kings. The room went quiet. Captain Williams, I said warmly. Perfect timing. He smiled. Your Gulfstream is ready for departure to Dubai. We're cleared for takeoff at your convenience. The Sheikh is expecting you at the palace by 8 a.m. local time. Jennifer's wine glass slipped from her fingers and shattered on the marble floor. The sound echoed through the sudden silence. Your Gulfstream. Mom whispered. The G650, yes. We upgraded from the G550 last year. Better range for the Dubai to Singapore route. Dad stared at Captain Williams. You're a pilot? Ms. Montgomery's personal pilot, sir. Have been for 6 years. Personal pilot, Craig repeated faintly. And chief pilot for Montgomery Global Aviation, Captain Williams continued. We operate a fleet of 7 aircraft currently, though Ms. Montgomery just approved the purchase of 2 more. Jennifer made a strangled sound. Dubai, Michael said slowly. The Sheikh. Sheikh Rahman Al Maktoum, I confirmed. We're finalizing the contract for the Gulf region expansion. $340 million infrastructure project. The ballroom had gone completely silent. Even the orchestra had stopped playing. Mom's face had drained of color. Emily, what? And I apologize for the interruption, Captain Williams said, checking his watch. But we have a narrow departure window to make the timeline. The Sheikh schedule is quite tight. Of course. I turned to my family. I'm sorry to leave Dad's party early, but business calls. Business, Jennifer whispered. What business? Montgomery Global Consulting. We specialize in international infrastructure development, primarily in emerging markets. Current annual revenue is about $2.8 billion, though we're projecting $3.4 billion next fiscal year. Dad groped for a chair and sat down heavily. The studio apartment, Mom said. You live in a studio apartment. I own a studio apartment in Manhattan. I use it when I'm in the city, which is about 40 days a year. I also own properties in Dubai, Singapore, London, and Johannesburg. The studio is convenient for quick New York trips. The car, Craig croaked. That old Honda. Gets excellent gas mileage and doesn't attract attention. When you're worth $900 million, you learn that flashy cars invite problems. Jennifer swayed. Michael caught her arm. 900. Dad couldn't finish the sentence. Actually, with the Dubai contract, we'll cross the billion threshold. But I prefer to be conservative with estimates until deals close. Captain Williams cleared his throat gently. Ms. Montgomery, the departure window. Right. Sorry. I looked at my family. My father who'd offered me a junior associate position, my mother who'd worried I wasn't eating properly, my sister who'd called me a loser 15 minutes ago. The firm position, I said to Dad. I appreciate the offer, but I have 732 employees globally. Taking an entry-level job would be a step down. 700. He couldn't process it. And Mom, about the weight loss, it's from stress. Good stress. The kind that comes from managing 8-figure contracts and coordinating teams across 6 continents. But I'm eating fine. The Gulfstream has an excellent chef. Uncle Robert had gone pale. You own a private jet. 3 actually. The Gulfstream for long haul, a Bombardier for regional work, and a smaller Cessna for domestic hops. Plus partial ownership in 2 charter services. This is impossible, Jennifer said. You're lying. Am I? I pulled out my phone, opened an app and turned the screen toward her. This is the Montgomery Global Dashboard. Real-time project status across all active contracts. She stared at the screen, her face going from red to white. And this, I swiped to another screen, is my personal portfolio overview. Liquid assets, real estate holdings, business valuations. I let them look just long enough to see the numbers, then locked the phone. How? Dad finally asked. How is this possible? Do you remember 12 years ago when I graduated from Yale? I had 3 job offers. Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, and your firm. You chose to travel and find yourself, Mom said. We were so disappointed. I chose to travel to Dubai. I'd met Sheikh Rahman's son at Yale. He introduced me to his father, who was looking for American consultants to help modernize their infrastructure. I spent 6 months in Dubai, living in a shared apartment, learning everything I could. We thought you were backpacking, Jennifer whispered. You assumed I was backpacking. I was building relationships. The Sheikh gave me my first contract. A small transportation project. $12 million. I delivered it under budget and ahead of schedule. 12 million, Michael repeated. That led to another project. Then another. Within 3 years, I'd established Montgomery Global as the premier Western consulting firm for Gulf region development. Craig had sat down, his face slack. The studio apartment, I continued, I bought 8 years ago for $400,000. It's now worth $1.2 million, but that's irrelevant. It's a functional space for New York visits. You've been living like a pauper, Mom said, tears streaming down her face. I've been living strategically. When you work in international business, especially in conservative markets, flaunting wealth is counterproductive. My clients respect discretion. The old Honda, the modest clothes, they signal that I'm serious about work, not status. But your family, Dad said hoarsely. We thought. You thought what you wanted to think. What made sense to you. The daughter who rejected your traditional path must be failing. We tried to help, Mom sobbed. Did you? Or did you try to force me back into the life you wanted for me? Jennifer found her voice. You let us humiliate you. For years. Why? Did I let you? Or did you choose to humiliate someone you decided was beneath you? But we're your family. Yes. You are. And family shouldn't need proof of success to offer respect. Captain Williams checked his watch again. Ms. Montgomery, I hate to press, but the weather window is closing. Of course. I'm coming. I looked at Dad. Congratulations again on your retirement. 40 years is an incredible achievement. Emily, wait. I have a Sheikh expecting me. We'll talk later. When? Mom asked desperately. When will you be back? I'm in Dubai for 3 days, then Singapore for 2, London for meetings on Friday, and back to New York next Tuesday. I'll be in the city for 6 hours before heading to Johannesburg. 6 hours, she whispered. But I'll make time for coffee if you'd like. Say Wednesday. I should be back by then. Wednesday is, that's 10 days from now. Is it? I lose track with the time zones. I shouldered my small purse, the Target purse Jennifer had mocked. This trip should be quick. Just finalizing the contracts and reviewing the Phase 2 timeline. Phase 2? Uncle Robert asked weakly. The Dubai contract has 3 phases over 7 years. Total value of $890 million. Phase 2 is the critical infrastructure component. Dad stood slowly, like a man who'd aged 10 years in 10 minutes. Why didn't you tell us? Tell you what? That I was building a business? I did. You didn't believe it was real. We thought consulting meant freelance work. Small projects. It does. Just on a slightly larger scale than you imagined. Jennifer gripped the back of a chair. All this time, all the things I said. I remember every word, I said quietly. Every joke about my apartment. Every comment about my car. Every time you called me a failure. I didn't know. Would it have mattered? If I actually was struggling, would your comments have been kinder? She had no answer. Miss Montgomery, Captain Williams said gently. The Sheik's office just confirmed he's expecting us. We really must go. Right. Sorry, Captain. I turned to my family one last time. Enjoy the rest of the party. Dad, you've earned this celebration. Emily, please. Mom reached for me. Wednesday, I reminded her. Coffee. I'll text you the details. I walked toward the ballroom exit with Captain Williams. Behind us, the silence finally broke into chaos. Overlapping voices, questions, my mother crying, Jennifer saying my name over and over. As we reached the door, Craig called out, "The $300. You said you borrowed it to test us." I turned back. I did. You passed. You were willing to help when you thought I was desperate. That counted for something. But you donated it? To Mount Sinai Children's Hospital. In your name and Jennifer's. You should have gotten a thank you letter. Jennifer gasped. That letter. We thought it was a mistake. A tax scam. No scam. Just recognition that even in your worst moments, you were still capable of generosity. I wanted to honor that. I left them standing there, processing, and walked through the country club lobby with Captain Williams. Dramatic exit, he commented as we stepped outside. Was it too much? Ms. Montgomery, I've flown for Saudi princes and tech billionaires. That was perfectly calibrated. The black Mercedes waited at the curb. My actual car, the one I drove when not making a point. My driver Marcus opened the door. Airport, Ms. Montgomery? Yes, please. And Marcus? I'm sorry about making you park the Honda here earlier. I know you hate driving it. He smiled. All part of the service, ma'am. Though I'll be happy to get back to the Mercedes. During the 20-minute drive to Teterboro Airport, I checked my emails. Updates from the Singapore team, questions from the London office. A contract revision from Dubai that needed my approval. Busy night ahead? Captain Williams asked from the front seat. Always. But the flight will give me 8 hours to work. And the Gulfstream's office setup is better than most ground-based offices. Your father looked shocked. He was. They all were. How do you feel? I considered the question. Tired. Vindicated. All of it. Will they change? I don't know. Does it matter? Doesn't it? I looked out at the passing lights of New Jersey. 6 years ago when I first hired you, I was so angry at them. I wanted to prove them wrong. Show them I wasn't the failure they thought. And now I've built something extraordinary. Whether they recognize it or not doesn't change what it is. We arrived at Teterboro's private terminal. The Gulfstream gleamed on the tarmac, stairs extended, interior lights warm and welcoming. My phone buzzed. A text from Michael. *M, I'm so sorry. I should have defended you. I should have seen. Then Dad. We need to talk. Really talk. I've been blind. Then surprisingly, Jennifer. I don't know what to say except I'm sorry. I've been cruel. Inexcusably cruel. I'd respond later. Right now I had a Sheik waiting. Captain Williams conducted his final pre-flight check while I settled into the cabin. Cream leather seats. Mahogany tables. Full office setup with satellite internet and secure video conferencing. My assistant Priya appeared from the back cabin. She was supposed to be off duty but she'd come anyway. You didn't have to fly tonight, I told her. And miss the Dubai meetings? Please. Besides, someone needs to keep you organized. She handed me a tablet. Sheikh Rahman's team sent the revised contracts. I've flagged the changes. You're amazing. I know. Also, your mother called the office 17 times in the last 20 minutes. I'll call her from Dubai. Your sister called 9 times. Also from Dubai. Your brother called twice and sent 4 emails apologizing for not seeing you clearly. I sighed. I'll respond. Eventually. The engines spooled up. Captain Williams's voice came through the intercom. Ms. Montgomery, we're cleared for departure. Flight time to Dubai is 13 hours and 20 minutes. The Sheikh's Palace has confirmed our landing slot. Thank you, Captain. As we taxied to the runway, I looked out the window at the lights of New York. Somewhere out there, my family was still at that country club, processing the revelation that their failure daughter was actually a near-billionaire running a global empire. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me felt sad. Part of me wondered if things could ever be genuinely repaired between us. But mostly I felt focused. Because in 13 hours I'd land in Dubai. The sheik would be waiting. We had a $340 million contract to finalize and an infrastructure project that would transform the Gulf region. My family could join that reality or not. Their choice. I'd stopped waiting for their approval years ago. The Gulf Stream lifted off, climbing smoothly into the night sky. Below, the lights of New Jersey faded into darkness. Ahead, somewhere over the Atlantic, dawn was already breaking. Priya brought me coffee, perfectly made exactly how I liked it. "Ready to work?" she asked. "Always." I opened the tablet and dove into the contracts. Numbers, clauses, specifications. The language of international business development, the vocabulary of success. My phone buzzed one more time. "Mom, I'm so proud of you. I'm so sorry I never told you that before. I love you, Emily. I stared at the message for a long moment, then typed back. I love you too, Mom. We'll talk Wednesday. Because despite everything, despite the years of dismissal and the night's humiliation, they were still my family. But that no longer meant their opinion defined my worth. I'd defined that myself, one contract at a time, one successful project after another, until I'd built something they couldn't dismiss or diminish. And tomorrow, when the sheik shook my hand and signed the contract, when my company crossed the billion-dollar threshold, when Phase 2 of the largest infrastructure project in the Gulf region officially launched, my family's opinion wouldn't matter at all. Because I'd already proven everything that needed proving. To the only person whose approval I'd ever really needed. Myself. The Gulf Stream leveled off at cruising altitude. Through the window, stars scattered across the black sky like diamonds on velvet. 13 hours to Dubai. And a whole world waiting beyond.